Alright guys, it's Justin again with another kit review. This is going to be for the Master Grade Geara Doga. Straight away you can already tell that this kit is a monster of a machine. It's very big, it's very bulky. He's got lots of weapons, a huge shield as big as my hand. He stands pretty tall. Here's for a quick size comparison, we'll use my Easy 8. I mean, he towers over the Easy 8. Just the top of his Mohawk camera comes to the top of the chest. So I mean, he's pretty big. It's hard to get an accurate size comparison when he's with this angle, but you get what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and pop the weapons off, and we will go ahead and do a quick articulation review, and then we can talk about some of the stuff he comes with and some gimmicks and all that good stuff. The big selling point for this guy for me was definitely the frame detail. When they showed off the frame detail during whatever conventions or whatever they were having at the time, and they showed the leg frame, and oh, it was insane. And I plan on going ridiculous on this frame. I'm going to paint this guy to some ridiculous degree that I shouldn't, but I'm going to. So this is what he looks like, completely unarmed. For the head, you're not going to get a whole lot. No full 360, just some left and right. He pops his head up like that because of the way the head's constructed. You can pop the top of the head off, and you can turn this to get the mono eye to move different directions, so that's really cool. I love that feature in mono eye suits. And on the chest, you're going to get the opening cockpit hatch, if I can figure out how it works. I haven't done it since constructing the chest yesterday. But I believe that this pops down, and then the top piece flips out, something like that. Yeah, there we go. So this pops down, and then this pops out. Of course, because of the waist connection or whatever, it's not the best connection in the world, or it doesn't flip out all the way, but you can still see the pilot inside, so good enough. The arms will go a full 360 degrees backwards, as well as under the shoulder. Get a really good double bend, and you can actually move the shoulder armor out of the way. It's not quite 180, but it's pretty close. The shoulder armor is independent. It's on a ball joint and a hinge, so you can get all kinds of crazy movement out of that. The thrusters here are on joints as well, so you can move them as well. Same thing with this shoulder here, except this one is done a little differently. They move roughly the same. The shield itself moves also. The wrists are on ball joints, but because of the big cuffs, you don't get a whole lot of movement. Manipulators are the fixed posed hands with the swappable fingers, which I really love. I'm a huge fan of those. They come in closed fist, trigger finger, and grip hand for the melee weapon. And then there's also a secondary set of hands that are completely, they're not the 3.0 style hands, but they move like this, and then they have every finger is individual, and then they have one joint in each finger. The thumb itself is pretty much the same as this one. On the waist, you're not going to get a lot of movement out of just the waist. The frame waist is incredible, and you get a lot of movement out of it, but because of the way the torso is constructed, you lose 90% of that, so you just kind of get this ball joint here. The legs, when you move the front skirts, will go almost all the way forward. The back isn't going to give you as much leeway. You get a nice bend with some exposed armor here, so that moves and kind of tucks out of the way, which I am a sucker for. The moving armor panels, I really love when that happens. It's not, you know, a really necessary thing, but it just looks really cool, and it's nice to see like armor shifting around when you're posing your kit. The ankles move, and when you move your ankles forward and backward, you actually move this little piston inside here, so I think that's a really cool mechanism. Again, armor shifting, even subtle things like this is really neat. You're going to go forward and back a little bit, a little side to side, not too much wiggle, but the backpack doesn't move at all. And you got a little arm connection here for your beam weapon. So as for weaponry, the other weapons in the box still, so I'm not going to really worry about that right now. Your shield is articulated as well. It's got a hinge on here, you can bend it both ways. It's also got this this arm which is articulated and it moves and all that good stuff. You just plug that into the back of either arm, it doesn't matter, your preference, and it pretty much goes where you want it to. You can move this thing all over the place. It's really nice construction. It's really big, it's really thick, it's bulky. You've got this weapon here, removable ammo clips, moving handle. The stock moves as well, so you can get into those cool action poses under the arm, into the shoulder, whatever you want. And then these side skirts also pop open. I haven't put anything in there yet, but you can put the ammo clips in here and they kind of hang on these pegs and they're not affected by gravity until you try to pull them out yourself. But this guy looks really good. Pretty much no matter what pose you put him in. You don't really have to even put him like he's shooting anything, but I mean that does help with the badass factor, I guess. You know, he's pretty easy to pose, and he looks pretty monstrous, and he looks really intimidating either way you look at it. So I'm gonna definitely give this kit a thumbs up on recommending it. It might be a little steep if you're not looking to spend a whole lot of money, and as far as taking up space, he does take up a pretty decent amount of space. I mean, he's got my whole desk right here. I can't really store anything on my desk right now because he's in the way. But you know, with master grades, that's kind of the game anyway. You're gonna run out of space if you you know, you can only store so many of these guys in one small area. But he might not be the most articulate, but I think if you're looking for something big and mean and nasty looking, this is your guy. Especially if you're into the grunts and the mass-produced stuff. Definitely one of the meanest looking baddies out there. It's a really nice master grade kit. It's got a really good frame. It's got incredible detail. You've got another thing that is a feature, I guess. You can pop off the chest area here. Let me see if I can get a hold of it. Probably not, because I'm on camera. But pop the backpack off. Might be a little easier. You can. Jesus. Here we go with the problems. Justin losing pieces, like he always does when he reviews stuff. Oh, and of course the ball joint actually pops out this time. But you can lift this up. I've never tried it. Normally with relative ease. And under here, you can pop all this off, and there is a space for the Bandai LED, and you can put a. It's advertised as a purple, I believe, but mono eyes to me I think are typically pink, or you know, I would even go as far as to say a red. So you can put the LED in, and when you turn it on, the eye lights up, and I think that's a really cool gimmick. I love the glowing mono eye. It's always really creepy and scary looking, just like I think the Xeon suits kind of go for. It's kind of one of their trademarks, I would say. But yeah, so I would definitely give this guy a recommendation on picking him up. He's a solid kit. He was a lot of fun to build. I really enjoyed him. I'm really going to enjoy painting him. This is my next build off entry, so I have paints on the way so I can build this guy and paint him up. So in the very near future there will be work in progress videos for this. And this is a build off with FIL, the metal modeler. A lot of you know him. You guys should definitely go check him out. I'll put a link down below so you guys can go to his channel and see his Geara Doga build. I guess I can kind of go into what I'm doing with mine. I guess you can already guess based on some of my other previous builds and the excitement that I have expressed just in this video for the inner frame, I will be fully detailing this inner frame to a ridiculous degree. I still have a little bit of cleanup to do on the accessories. I kind of rushed through that part of the build, but the rest of the main body itself, and I think most of the backpack, is fully cleaned. It's all been sanded and it's pretty much ready to go. I'm going to do a couple small mods here and there. I've already done a couple. Like, I drilled a hole in the front of the mask where the face ends. You know, just some basic stuff to kind of add some little points of detail. I'm not sure how I'm going to paint the waist and the, you know, all the little tubing around the kit. Since it's made of that weird rubbery material, it's going to be a pain to get paint to stick to it. So I think I might go out and buy some vinyl paint. That's what my friend John suggested, or I think that's what he's doing for his, since it's a more flexible paint. So I might just go ahead and do that, and I might just hand brush it, or maybe if I can get it to shoot through the airbrush. We'll see. We'll cover that when we cover it. But I'm not gonna do any like weird metallic stuff on the outside, just the frame. I think for this I'm going to stray away from what I normally do and use mostly steel. I think I'm going to use more browns and more silvers to really accent this. I do plan on using this steel a little bit for various accents, but for the most part this is going to be more of a brown and silver metallic kit. I might even bust out some bronze. We'll see. But excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna fully do all this. The bottoms of the feet are gonna be at least 3 colors. I gotta do the insides of the thrusters yellow. Paint the thrusters themselves. I'm gonna hide these little pegs inside here so you won't be able to see that black dot. I'm gonna make this guy look as real as possible. I'm gonna do natural shading, since that seems to be my new thing right now. I really enjoy doing that. It's a lot of fun. And I plan on maybe a little bit of light weathering, just some chipping here and there, and a little bit of rust maybe. Well, not rust, because things don't rust in space because there's no oxygen. At least I believe that's the way that it works. But yeah, that's it for my review and my plans and all this. So like I said, go check out FIL's channel. I'll put a link for him below and you guys can go view his good stuff. He's a really good friend of mine. He's a really cool dude, really awesome modeler. So this is our build off, and this is the entry into that. And thanks for watching. I will see you guys with the next work in progress. So thanks for watching. Bye.